Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to showcase my top 10 best figure for 2020. There's been a lot of good figures out there that has been released in 2020 despite of the pandemic COVID-19 situation. However, there is some of my figures that should be released this year has been pushed forwards to 2021 releases. So in the meantime, I'm just keep myself being patient for that figures to arrive in 2021, and hopefully it will be as good as in my top 10 list. And as you can see, I've showcased a few pictures in the beginning throughout the video, and you can see all my collection here, and maybe you have some glimpse of what type of collectors I am, and maybe you will not be so surprised on the figures that I'm going to list down in my top 10 best figure for 2020. And before I start, I just wanted to state that I'm going to evaluate them based on these three characteristics. The first one, that the figures must be released in year 2020. Simple as that. The second criteria is the figure must be in my collection, meaning I bought those figures, although there's a lot of other figures that is very good, but if it's not in my collection, then it's not going to be in the list. And the third and final criteria, I think the figure must have some sort of uniqueness to it. Maybe it got some a good point in articulation, or head sculpt has been upgraded, or maybe just the accessories has been pretty astounding, and maybe just the fun factor of the figure. And the most important thing, I think, the one that gives more impact to me personally, and I'm having fun with the figure as overall and as a total. Yeah, that is going to determine which position will the figure be in the list. So without further ado, let's get into my honorable mention first, and then we get into my top 10 list, shall we? First honorable mention would be this Mesco 112 Collective Spider-Man stealth suit from Far From Home movie. And then I think this figure came out pretty good. It's a decent figure. The amount of articulation is quite the same as I think most of the Mesco Spider-Man, and it does come with alternate head sculpt, and that's a pretty good accessories. But I mean, in terms of other accessories, I just think that they should have gone with a new accessory rather than give us just a reuse from the previous releases. Second honorable mention is this Logan, aka Wolverine, from the Marvel Legends series, and this is from the X-Men Origin movie, and this is a great figure. I feel that Hasbro has done a pretty good job with this figure, especially with this character Logan. And as you can see, the head sculpt does look like Hugh Jackman, but the second head sculpt was quite off. I think they need to improve on that. And the other thing is the claw. I think the claw is great. I think this is one of the great claw that we're going to get for Wolverine. And the figure itself, I think, is quite good. The proportion of it, all the joints are pretty good. You can get a pretty decent pose for this figure, and yeah, but I think they need to improve on the pen application. Other than that, I think this was a solid figure. Coming up next is this Cable from Deadpool 2 movie, and this is also from Hasbro, and I think this is also one of the best figure in my opinion, because you could see this Cable just came straight out of the movie, and the likeness of Josh Brolin is, I think, outstanding. The detailing on him, the accessories that has been given, I think it's quite enough. But the downside of this figure may be the plastic cape, and I would love if they could give us some sort of soft good cape. And then the vest, I think, kind of hindered the articulation for the middle part. And the figure itself is quite hard to pose, or sometimes it just fell off easily, because I don't know, maybe this figure is quite heavy or unbalanced, or I don't know, maybe it's just quite hard for me to get him in a pose without a stand, so yeah. So that is all of my honorable mention figures, and now we're going to look at my top 10 best figure for 2020. Coming on the 10th place is this SH Figure Art Scarlet Witch from Avengers Infinity War, and this is one of my anticipated figure of 2020, and I think it turns out to be a pretty good figure. And the head sculpt does looks like Elizabeth Olsen, the actress, and the articulation is pretty neat. The coat doesn't hinder too much on the articulation. She could get pretty good posing, pretty good dynamic action poses. And I think for you that has that Marvel Legend ones, might want to upgrade with this one, because this is really a great Scarlet Witch figure. Although the price might be a little bit more expensive, and because it's a premium Bandai and it's a little bit hard to get in the market. So yeah, that is the only gripes that I think for this figure. And coming on the 9th spot is this SH Figure Arts Rescue Mark 49 from Avengers Endgame. I think this figure was actually released together with the Mark 85 and Captain America Final Battle Edition, but I think out of these three figure, this one is one of my long-awaited figure that needs to be in my possession just to complete my Iron Man collection in the shelf. So yeah, this is an important figure actually, and once I got it, it turns out to be very good. I think better than the Marvel Legends version, because yeah, this figure does have some pretty good accessories, and the detailing on the figure, I think it's all a new sculpt, and plus we get an alternate head sculpt for Pepper Potts, or the actress itself, the likeness of Gwyneth Paltrow. I think they have done a pretty good job on this figure. And beside that, I think the thing that you can get the Iron Cannon pose in a different kind of way, it really does makes this figure one of the best figure in 2020. And coming on the 8th spot is this Marvel Legends Deadpool from Deadpool 2 movie. And this was released as a 2-pack together with the Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And I just wanted to highlight on the Deadpool figure itself particularly, because I think this figure is very good indeed. It has plenty of accessories and interchangeable hands, and it does have that quality of detail on his body, and the sculpt is just very great. And the thing that this is the only Deadpool iteration from the movie line makes it much more valuable to me, and I think I just needed this Deadpool so much in my collection. And that's the thing, you could do plenty of iconic poses with this Deadpool. It's just amazing. My only gripes for this figure is just the swords. I think the swords needs to be improved, and the guns on these chicks needs to be usable, not glued together with the holster. And I think with that you could get much more fun with these extra accessories. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. And on the 7th spot is the Star Wars Black Series Din Djarin and the Child from the Mandalorian Disney Plus series. This was my first Black Series figure. I mean, one of them on the free wave that comes with all of the other characters. But I'm listing him because I think he's one of the most playable figure that I have, and it does comes with very unique accessories. And as you can see, he came with this Baby Yoda or Grogu with his pram, although the Grogu does not articulate much, and it looks like an accessories, but I still appreciate of having him together with this Mandalorian. And as you can see here, I already replaced the plastic cap with this soft good material, and it does amplify some good movement, and articulation is not hindered too much. So yeah, I'm pretty liking this figure very much. Coming strong on the 6th spot is this SH Figuarts Iron Spider from Avengers Endgame. Bandai actually has released this figure before previously in Infinity War packaging. However, there was a lot of complaint with the fans and collectors with the inaccuracy of that figure. And then they got the chance to reproduce this figure with the same mold but a slightly upgrade, such as this shiny coat on his paint application, and then they went to redo the Waldos to be more accurate to the movie. And then we got some extra alternate head Tom Holland head sculpt, which is very nice. And we also got the killing mode eyes for him, for the interchangeable eyes. And I think this figure looks very good. I'm really glad that they went to upgrade this version of Spider-Man, which I'm really in love with the overall figure. And plus we got the extra nano gauntlet, which can be used for Hulk or Thanos figure. All in all, this is a great figure. It's just that when buying this figure twice, I don't know, it's just too costly and not collectors friendly. I think they should have given us this quality the first time around, and that's why he's not in the top list. Coming strong in the top 5 is this Mayfix Cyclops from X-Men Jim Lee style. And what you are looking here is one of the controversial figure of the year. Why? Because there were so many complaints and thoughts on this figure with the overall proportion and then the QC issue on him. But I have to disagree with all of them because mine came out really great. There was no issue at all. I have no paint application, were just great. And then I think for the proportion I was willing to to accept, because it is what it is. It looks like Cyclops, and I cannot agree with those critics with all of the others reviewers. So for me, this is one of my best Cyclops that I have so far. I think I have to give credits to Mayfix, because they successfully managed to engineer the blast effects from the Cyclops eyes, and I think most company have trouble on getting it right. So I think Mayfix has done a really good job on that with the interchangeable parts of the blaster or the visor. I think that is just brilliant. So that's why he is in my top 5 figure. Coming at the number 4 spot is this Mesco 112 Collective Gambit from the X-Men Jim Lee style, and of course this is kind of a tweak from Mesco itself. This is a very good figure, one of my anticipated figure of the year 2020, and why he is in my top 4 spot is I think I just love the way that Mesco tweak on his appearance on the X-Men, 90s X-Men, and I really love on the accessories that has been given for him. I think there was a lot of effect for him, and they gave us not only the staff and not only the cards. I think the overall look for him, the head sculpt was nice, the wavy hair was really awesome. I love the expression for the Gambit, and although he was hindered by the vest, I still think that this is a good figure. You can actually get him into pretty nice poses, and that's why I want him to be in a higher ranking in my list. I think this is just Gambit with a soft figure is just perfect for me, and they went this beautifully complete with all the accessories that I ever wanted for Gambit, and that's why he is my in top list. The second runner-up is this SH Figuarts, The Mandalorian and the Child. Yeah, I know they were actually a separate figure, but I think since I reviewed them in my channel as a set of one, so I think it's fair for them to be in this spot. I do believe that both of these figures complement each other, and it makes sense that they were both here in my top three figure, because I think both of them has a pretty good amount of accessories, especially the Mandalorian. He has a lot of accessories, and if I may say that putting him on the interchangeable parts, bits, and everything that he has is sometimes quite annoying, but when you look at it, this figure has, I think, a complete set of the guns, the weapon that he has, the whistling bird, the flamethrower, the jetpacks, and the M-Bun rifle, the tracker. I think this is a complete Mandalorian figure for me, and that's why I'm kind of love this figure more and more every day. And what I'm trying to say is that despite all the unnecessary, interchangeable parts of changing him to certain kind of look, I think this is just he does have the fun factor, and of playing him around and posing him around. I think I'm just having fun with this figure. That's why he is in my top spot. And the first runner-up is this Mesco 112 Collective Deluxe version Spider-Man upgraded suit from Spider-Man Far From Home. At the beginning of the year, I just knew that this figure would actually manage to get one of the top spot in my 2020 list of best figure, and yeah, and he just made it here. And because that this figure has a lot of good quality that he's offering in terms of the head sculpt of Tom Holland is just, I think, pretty done very good. And then they gave us the Edith glass with extremely detail, and I think the overall figure is pretty good on the soft good material, and they managed to get him in a little bit more detailed figure in my opinion. And then the extra new accessories for him also, I think a plus point for him. And the thing that he poses pretty well with those unhindered joints and fabric. I think this is a very great figure, and that is why he is in my top 2 figure. Because I don't have any issue with this figure, I can simply say that out of all the Mesco Spider-Man, this is the best Mesco Spider-Man from the movie line. And taking the crown for the best figure for 2020 is this Mayfix Thor from Avengers Infinity War. What more can you ask for a figure that has a superb engineering from Mayfix? This figure is just phenomenal. You can have 2 type of look for this Thor, with the cape or without the cape. It's your choice. And we also have these 3 interchangeable heads, which is pretty good, and it does look like Chris Hemsworth. And the fact that you can also put the lightning effects on both version of Thor, and having the options for the collectors, it's what my evaluation for him is a little bit higher. The overall look for him is accurate to the movie. It does scale pretty well with the SH Figure Arts line, so you actually put him in that collection. And then the cape is just standing. I love the red color of they are choosing, and then I love the fabric. I love the material of it, and it just gives more life to the figure itself. And I love the white cape, and then they put in, and I don't know, it's just this figure has a lot to offer, and you guys should have it in your collection. So guys, that is the end of the review, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it. And if you guys have any figures that I should have or should buy, just put a recommendation down below and I'll try to get the figure. And yeah, I'm sorry because 2020 was a hectic schedule, so there was a lot of lockdown, and despite of the COVID-19 situation, I did not get more or much figures in 2020. But yeah, I'm still trying to get my hands onto the good figures out there. And so if this year 2021, I think there's a lot of figures that is coming, and I will definitely review it for you guys. And yeah, so before I go, I just wanted to wish you a wonderful holiday and a happy new year, and thank you for all of your support throughout this year. And once again, if you feel the video is informative enough, please like and subscribe, and till I catch you in my next video. Sayonara.